Vice News just spoke to Iranian citizens, and there are a lot of people in American media who are going to be really mad about what they had to say. First, Cenk, what are you expecting out of the story?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people will be surprised by what they said, and maybe most of all, Iranians who live here in America. So I'm really glad this came out. Very interesting revelation. So tell us about it, Yas.
Okay, so you're gonna hear a lot of media figures state that Iranians hate Americans because they chant death to America. But one Iranian explained that they're actually referring to the American government, not its people. Let's watch.
If we say done with American, we are love the people of America, but we are enemy with the government.
I
because
understand.
Government attack my country.
I understand.
I'm here. They are far away. Why come here and attack with me? I'm apologize. We don't say on the people. We say on the government.
I understand.
And mind of them.
And we're trying to show the people of America that you guys are the same. Everybody is the same, trying to get through the day. But the armies are different. The government, the regime. So,
excellent.
yes.
These people, one phrase. We fight, we die, we don't accept promise.
Yes.
Compromise.
Sure. I know.
All right, so another Iranian citizen explained how the war was brought the country together rather than fractured it. So they're experiencing more unity than disunity. Let's see.
Do you think people after this war have more sympathy with each other?
Yes, of course, and I think they are now more against their enemy. But my English is not very good, and
your English is very good.
I'm trying to.
It's very good.
Get the point to you.
Yes.
I think they are now more than their enemy, and better know that their enemy what want to do to us.
Yeah.
I can't say truly that they want to fight, but it's not a good word.
They're not going to give up.
Yes. It is a better word to say that.
Yeah.
They don't want to give up. They want to defend ourselves, defend our country. Our enemy against them is one of the most.
And what do you think is going to happen in the next few days, few months, few weeks?
Now, actually, I can't say anything, but I think if there gonna be a war, the Iranians will not give up and they will defend their country.
Okay, so we're gonna actually hear a little bit more from that guy right there, because like the person that we showed earlier, he's about to kind of echo some of those points, and he's going to make the distinction between the American government and the American people.
Well, I hope for peace. So
yes, I want a peace too, but the America does not. I think they don't, and they want to. I don't know how to say. They want to.
But it's a very unpopular war amongst American young people.
Yes,
so hopefully, if it's unpopular with Iranian young people and unpopular with American young people,
of course. And I like this too, but the American, not Americans, the American politicians, I can say I don't know that they want a peace.
Okay, and we're gonna end with a clip of Shane Smith, and he's the journalist featured in all of these clips, and he is explaining what it was like for him to interact with the people of Iran.
Going to a country that preaches death to America is crazy. Yes. However, they mean sort of death to the regime, not to the actual people, which is the thing I keep saying. Like, people are people everywhere in the world, and we get politicized, and there's a lot of propaganda. But when you come to a place, it's just people at the end of the day. I feel the same, like when you have an isolationist place like Iran. I feel the same way about North Korea. When you see kids in North Korea, they love you. They're kids, you know. And there's a at the end of our at the end of our piece there, Globetrotters are spinning a basketball. And the little kid, their face lights up. And you're like, they're just kids. Now, North Korea, our big enemy, they're just kids. And here, like when you go around, there's kids. We were just at the mosque. They were screaming, not screaming, chanting death to America. The kids are all coming up, hugging us, buying us tea.
Okay, so just keep in mind that everything you just watched, keep like as long as you take a look at how the Iranians have described President Trump, that this exchange happened last month.
You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom.
All right, so he loves to dehumanize people because that is the politically expedient thing for someone like Donald Trump to do. He is not worried about the people anywhere. He just has a political agenda that he is trying to push. He's probably making money off of his so-called political agenda, and he just has things to do. He's not worried about the people. But Cenk, I do want to get your thoughts on not just what the Iranians had to say, but also what Shane Smith had to say, because that really seemed to resonate.
Yeah, so Shane Smith's the founder of Vice, and this is some of his best work. I really appreciate that he went and did this. I think it's really eye-opening for a lot of people. And of course, he's absolutely right. Like, what is this? The people are different in other places? Like you go to the Iran or North Korea and they have horns, or Israel and they have horns? No, of course not, of course not. We're all human beings, we react in normal ways. And a lot of what happens is power dynamics. It has nothing to do with people's ethnicity, race, religion, or any of that, right? Do you know your brain rot index? No, of course you don't. I didn't either because I didn't know what it was, but turns out you might want to, especially after hearing this. Did you know that the average American checks their phone over 200 times a day? That's about 5 hours of screen time a day on just your phone. Unfortunately, that means your brain is rotting. A little bit, but have no fear. I switched over to Noble Mobile, downloaded their Noble Mobile Life app, and was able to track my own brain rot index. It's 0. No, I'm just kidding. My number was not great, but now that I'm on Noble Mobile, getting way better. It tracks how much you use your phone, how often you pick it up, and even shows you how to save money on your phone bill by using it less. New members can even earn up to $100 cash back for keeping their brain rot index under 100, which means you are very unrotten. Okay, so you unlock all that when you join. So download the Noble Mobile Life app today, track your own brain rot index, and learn how you can save money and spend more time doing things that actually bring you joy instead of doom scrolling on social media. Check it out by heading to tyt.com/switch or by downloading the Noble Mobile app. By the way, don't tell Andrew, but if you're on Wi-Fi, you also don't use your data, so you're gonna get money back anyway. tyt.com/switch. So, like, the other thing that he said that I thought was important for all of you guys to know, and I want to really emphasize this, is that throughout history, there's almost never been a war without propaganda, because people do not want to go voluntarily kill each other or get killed. So the young of Iran are against it, of course. The young of America are against it, of course. They'd be the ones fighting it. So why would they want to go and kill each other when they don't even dislike each other? Do you dislike a person in Iran right now? Unless you've been brainwashed by mainstream media that there's some sort of demonic creatures who are gonna come and kill you in San Antonio. No, of course not. Why would you bother hating them? Do they hate us? No, they don't hate us. They hate our government. Why do they hate our government? Because our government keeps attacking them, keeps bombing them. Is that complicated? The Israelis keep insisting that we have to obliterate Iran and that they have to occupy the Palestinians and invade Lebanon, etc. And they're saying, no, we don't want you to invade all of your neighbors, including us. Is that some sort of demonic, unreasonable ask? No, they're saying we don't like America. One, because you've attacked us, but two, because you unilaterally support Israel that is basically oppressing and attacking all of the Middle East, including us. So why would we support your government? Of course, we're not gonna support your government that is deeply hostile to ours. On the other hand, they love American genes. The Iranians have loved like different parts of our culture for so long, the actual human beings. Guys, propaganda is absolutely necessary for a war because normally you would never go do it unless you're a propagandist. Does a war ever help you? Almost never, almost never. Would this war help you and your family? No. If Iran was actually attacking Buffalo and you had to go protect your family and your home, then yes, of course, that makes sense. That helps you because you're protecting your family and your country. But when you go attack Iran and it makes our economic situation here worse, we gain absolutely nothing from it, and it's to help a foreign nation, well, of course you don't want that. So since you don't want that, and almost all the wars are for the people up top, for the powerful people, for the kings, for the popes back in the day, for the presidents now, and for their ego. I'm going to win. Israel's going to get more land. Trump is going to be considered bigger and better, and we're going to have all of the oil and the territory, and we're going to control everything. But what do we get out of that? That's why we have turned so anti-war in this country as a population, because we are no longer under the oppressive yoke of mainstream media. The propaganda that national media has done in this country forever and ever is disgusting. It is always in favor of the powerful. It is always in favor of war. We don't want it, they don't want it. Only the people in power want it. I'm gonna give you one quick story here and then get back to what the Iranian people were saying. Recently read about Morley Safer. So he used to be a legendary CBS reporter back when CBS News was actual news, and he was on 60 Minutes for decades. He really got famous during Vietnam War. And one of the things he exposed was a legendary PR person at the Pentagon at the time. He comes to Vietnam and tells all the American press there, okay, now here's what I want you to report. And Safer says, and a couple other reporters at the time say to him, well, we're not gonna report that, that's not true. None of what you just said is true. That's from an American perspective. And the PR guy says, yeah, no, your job is to support your country. So shut up and report it. And that's how this works. And he then says something amazing. He says, if you came here and thought that the government would tell you the truth, you are stupid. That's a direct quote. And then he repeated it. And he asked, who would be stupid enough to believe that what the government says is true? And part of the reason he said that was, yeah, of course we're not telling you the truth, and we don't want you to tell the truth to your readers, to your viewers, because we can't have this war without propaganda. He was just a guy who said it, and he assumed that none of the reporters would repeat that, but Morley Safer did because he was an actual journalist, and we barely have any of those left now, right? So we've been propagandized here to hate the Iranians. Oh, they're dangerous, evil terrorists. We have to kill them on behalf of Israel. They're about to kill everyone in Israel. All that was giant lies, right? They've been propagandized over there. But what's interesting is, now back to their points. One, the country is now united. Now, what did we tell you? If you attack a country, you bomb a country, they're gonna rally around the flag. Of course! So the secular Iranians who are opposed to the more fundamentalist government, now in lockstep in defending their home, their land, their families. That is obvious, that is logical. Number two, it's the people versus the government. They feel the same way that we do. It isn't about us. They don't hate Americans. They just don't like that the government is attacking them. By the way, good news, people of Iran. We also don't like that we're attacking you. We don't want to attack you. Every poll shows that. 3/4 of the country is against this. Only the zombies that have been brainwashed by cable news want this war. Cable news is for the rich and the powerful and the lobbyists and the donors and the politicians. Their job is to do the propaganda, to brainwash you. But since a lot of us now are online, that brainwashing is not working well. And finally, as you saw there, they said, we're never gonna give up. From all walks of society in Iran, they said, we're never gonna surrender. And you saw Trump there saying, they want us to keep bombing. They want us to drop the bombs on their heads. They can't wait. I get letters all the time, please bomb my family. Really? You get letters like that all the time? Gee, I wonder who's telling the truth. The guy on the ground in Iran who's willing to die for what he believes? Or the biggest liar anyone has ever seen, Donald J. Trump, saying the most outrageous and stupid lies. Propaganda used to be a little bit more sophisticated. With Trump, he's just a blunt instrument. He just comes in, they love being bombed. They love being killed for us. They love it. They want us to bomb more. Well, idiot, no one's gonna believe that. And now, good news, no one does. The whole world knows that our president is lying. This war is totally senseless, and it's not even for our country, it's for a different country. Yes, back to you.
Yeah, I love that he clarified that death to America means the American government. And I don't want to put words into that gentleman's mouth, but I'd even venture that maybe by saying the word government, by an extension, he's probably referring to something like American imperialism and American overreach and all these ways that the American government interferes with other countries and other people. Even if it's not as directly as bombing their people and their buildings and their historical sites and things like that, and they're just destroying their infrastructure, but also, when we steal their resources from them, or if we do a business deal that makes it more difficult for them to do business, the tariffs even, right? And a lot of Americans on both sides of the aisle are also very against American imperialism. And I think it's such an important distinction to make, the people versus the government, because as we know here, even in a democracy, the government is not always representative of the will of the people. The things that the government does is not always what the people want them to do. Even if the people voted for that government, the government can then just, as we've seen, do whatever it is that they want. Everyone should know by now that wars are waged by a few men in adorned offices sitting around making decisions and then deciding to send people off to war. And this stuff is so unpopular that we're even talking about a draft again. Like, that is crazy that they have to do something like that. And I used to think that things like protests were kind of fraught, especially in today's political landscape, because these days it feels like our government just does not care what the people want anymore. They don't care about approval ratings the way they used to. They don't care about polling the way they used to. They just do whatever they want. But protests at least show the rest of the world that we are not all on board with what our government is doing in our name. We're doing what we can to oppose the government, but we're up against a lot. And it feels like every day they make it harder and harder to oppose them. They take our money, they take away our rights, they say we can't vote, they take our hope, really. That's what they're trying to do. But we still have to speak out, and we do speak out, and we still protest, and we still show solidarity, not just for our fellow Americans and for what's happening across our own cities, but for the people of the world who are victims of American imperialism. And one last thing I want to say is that a lot of people love Americans, and admittedly, when we travel abroad, we do not have the best reputation, and we need to work on that. I think as a people, we can be better. But when people come here, they always say that they are pleasantly surprised at how friendly we are. And I don't know what they expect. I think they expect to come over here and we're just like the absolute worst. But I like to think that only the very worst of us is what goes viral on social media. So maybe that's what they're expecting. But when they come here, we're just like nice people. So that is something.
Yeah, well, since we follow everything Israel does, maybe they thought we'd be like the Israelis. But no, we're pleasant people. Don't worry, we won't beat you or humiliate you for no reason. Okay, so the people of America are wonderful, open-hearted people. By the way, so are the people of Iran. And if you don't think so, you're probably brainwashed by the media that you watch, just so that you would hate people so that we can go to war against them. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.